What's up, everyone? We're here at Barrett-Jackson celebrating the 50th anniversary of one of the biggest auctions, if not the biggest automotive auction on the planet. Now, it is technically the 51st because last year was the 50th, but last year sucked. Not because of the auction, but because of the world. So I'm gonna take you through my top 5 vehicles here on the grounds, and let's go check them out. Now, this is one that I absolutely could not have passed up on for my top 5. This is a 2006 Ariel Atom, and it is a very special car. Firstly, because it does have the carbon package, which gives you carbon fenders, carbon nose, carbon dash, carbon tub, carbon intake, and carbon wing. But it also has a custom engine tuned by DDM Works, which is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that is twin-charged to produce 700 horsepower. That is all in a car that weighs 1,300 kilograms. Now, we know that the Ariel Atom 500 that has a V8 and produces 500 horsepower can go from 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. Now, there's no real 0 to 60 times on this car, but I can imagine at the end of the day, with a 700 horsepower twin charged engine, you're gonna be doing runs up to 60 in less than 2 seconds. Next up on my list is part of the Holy Trinity itself, the McLaren P1. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, with a 918 Porsche right beside it and a LaFerrari down the tent, why would I choose this one out of all 3 of them? And it's simple. I love McLaren and I love the way this car looks. These 3 cars push the boundaries for manufacturers to start using hybrid technology and go further and go harder and go faster. At the end of the day, the SF90, the Speedtail, the Sion, all these hybrid cars probably wouldn't exist today without these forging a path and getting the job done. 375 examples of the P1 were made. This is chassis number 24. It has a 3.8-liter V8 twin turbo engine that is mated with an electronic motor which gives it 903 horsepower. It's electronically limited to 217 miles an hour. The electric motor can run the whole car on its own, but it only has a range of about 11 kilometers. Next up clocks in at 18 feet 5 inches long, which would be about 3 of me laying on the ground beside it. This is the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Superbird. It does have a Hemi V8 that puts out 425 horsepower, but it does also weigh 3,841 pounds, which I can only imagine is like driving a cruise ship. You obviously can't go wrong with the looks. It's got that wedge shape up front, and then you also have that towering spoiler in the back. Now, on modern day cars, when you hit a certain speed, the spoiler will engage and come up out of the back, but not now. This is more used for hanging your towels after the day at the beach, or maybe your laundry. So next up is obviously one of our favorite vehicles here at Raceline Media. We actually have an incredibly large affinity for these cars. A while ago, we were given access to a 2019 GT, and then Ford versus Ferrari came out, and then the hype was just absolutely at its highest around these cars. And we were actually able, and very thankful for the people involved, to get all 3 generations of the GT together for a shoot. You can actually check out that video up top there. This one is a recreation. This one's not actually a GT40, which is okay because it still looks the same. This vehicle was finished and completed in Cape Town, South Africa, and it features a 427 cubic inch IR Roush V8 that puts out 560 horsepower and 540 foot-pounds of torque. Now, obviously that much power in a car this small is gonna have you absolutely flying. Moving on to probably my favorite car from this auction. It is a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing.
Keep on rocking.
Now, To me, this is probably one of the most beautiful cars ever produced. There's something about a mile-long hood and a shorter deck that really just has an iconic feeling to it. This also has quite a history to it. Back in 1955, it was sold to the Ministry of Police of Havana, Cuba. And in 1957, a race car driver by the name of Santiago Chiquito Gonzalez rallied and ended up winning the Havana National Grand Prix. Now, this vehicle does have a 3-liter inline 6 that produces 215 horsepower. Now, in today's world, 215 horsepower really isn't a lot. My Focus has 250 horsepower, but back in 1955, 6-cylinder engine putting out 215 horsepower was quite a bit.